Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to my blog. What this blog is all about. Sorry, welcome to my YouTube channel. And this channel will be teaching you about literature in English. I'll be taking you on literature in English. Anything you need to know about literature in English, you just need to do what? Look for this channel and you get the questions, everything you need questions to your answer, you're going to get it. Now, literature, we're going to be treating specifically literature on for senior students. That is the SS3 student that is about to take their senior WAEC. That is what we're going to be focusing on. We're going to start with what is literature, types of literature, and genres of literature, and literary appreciations. Then we'll now go for the required texts, because there are required texts that they are going to be used to write their exam. That of this thing just ended. There is a new syllable now for the literature student. That is the present SS3 that is going to write their exam next year. There is a new syllable for them. So first of all, I'll do that in my another video where I'm going to discuss the list of books, the list of dramas, the African and the non-African they are going to use, and the poems they are going to use for their exam. But right now, let's start by knowing what is literature. Let's start from the basic. What is literature? Because you're going to answer your objective questions. So let's now start from the basic by knowing what is literature, types of literature, and genres of literature, and literary appreciations. Now, what is literature? Literature is an imaginative work of an art, and literature can also be defined as a mirror by which you view the society. Let me explain what I mean by literature is an imaginative work of an art. What we mean by literature is an imaginative work of an art is anything. Most of the stories are not true, most of the stories are true. But those ones are true, all those stories are imaginations from someone, they now put it down in writings. There are some stories you see, let's just talk of a story that why the tortoise has the talking drum. All those things are imaginations someone put together. It now become a work of an art and now literature. Now let's know why literature is a mirror by which we view the society. Good. Why literature is a mirror by which we view the society is not only, yes, because there are some texts you read, you notice that in that particular text you are being taught about other people's culture. Let's say now I wasn't born in the 18th century, neither was I born in the 16th century, but I can briefly tell you things that happened then. How? Through the work of literature. So through the work of those texts that I've read, those texts now serve as a mirror by which I view the society then at the 16th and the 17th century. Good. Just like Elizabethan era, during the time of Elizabethan era, 16th century, 17th century, those times, then there were no quests. There weren't any quest for wealth. What they want then was a quest for power. That was what they were focusing in 16th century. But how do I get to know it? It's through the text that I've read, through the literature text that I've read. That was how I came to know. That literature text that I've read now serves a mirror by which I view the 16th and the 17th century. So that's what we mean by literature. We have types of literature. Types of literature is different from genres of literature. The types of literature we have are oral literature and written literature. These are the two types of literature we have. You could either call it oral literature or you call it orature. Good. It's spelled Orature. So either call it oral literature or written literature. And we also have oral literature and written literature. The oral literature is the one that is not being written down, that is being passed down from generation to generations. You see, there are some stories our forefathers our parents do tell us under the moonlight tales. Those ones are oral literature. You see, they now started telling us the story of how Hebrews or man came into existence, or they start telling us the story of how the greedy tortoise and the talking drum. All those things are oral literature. They are being transferred through orally from generation to generation. But written literature are the texts that we are reading today. Those texts that we are reading today are all written literature. Purple Hibiscus, Half of a Yellow Sun, There Was a Country, Dizzy Angel, Dr. Faustus, all those ones, Let Me Die Alone. all those ones, and the lion on the jaw, all those ones are written literature. Good. Let's start by knowing the things under oral literature. There are things under oral literature. We have what we call myth. It is spelled myth. Myth has to do with the origin of something, how things came into existence. That is what myth is talking about, and it is being translated from generation to generation. We have the legend, story of a heroic deed. You see, a particular story of a heroic deed, that is what the legend. A particular story of how these people defeated these people in war, how these people came in, how these people defeated these people in war. Those are heroic story, a legend story. There are other many things we have under oral literature. We have what we call fable. It is under written literature. We have parable. We have proverb. All those things are under oral literature. Then all written literature are those texts that we are reading today. Any written texts you come to is not only novels. Novels are not only the written literature we have. Any field of story that is being compiled in a book is what we call literature. You might say a particular book about biology is a literature. A particular book about commerce is a written literature. So it's not only when we have a novel that we say they are written literature. No. Good. I'll see you in my next video. Then we're going to talk about the genres of literature. Remember, I told you that there is a difference between types of literature and genres of literature. They are two different things. Don't get confused about it. The genres of literature or the vision of literature or kinds of literature are not where we have the drama, the prose, and the poetry. But that will be on our next video. We'll elaborate more on it. Thank you. And if you like the teachings and what you just heard, just do what? Subscribe on my channel and share your video for your friends to come around and for your friends to also watch and learn what literature is all about. Thank you.